Hiya, welcome back. This video's about installing a cable so I can jump start the bike without having to take off the battery cover and things like that. The cable's going to be 10A SW, which is rated at 120 amps maximum, and I'm going to be using EC5 plugs and sockets which are rated for 40 amps or peak of 90 amps, and the jump start power packs that I've seen online, like little lithium ones, all have the EC, or a lot of them have the EC5 connector, so I figure that's going to be quite adequate. So how this all came about, I had trouble starting the bike, so I installed one of these motor bats. This is the MBYZ16HD, which was fine, and that worked, and there's a video of that in the playlist. And then a while ago during winter it was a bit difficult to start, so I thought, oh well, I'll just plug in another battery, like a car battery, to jump start it, help it along. So I did that and it didn't work. So then I went to charge the battery and the charger didn't work. So I thought, okay, the battery's gone buggered up on me. That wasn't the case. I'd actually, when I tried to jump start it with a car battery, I'd obviously blown the fuse in the pigtail, which is what I did it through, which is quite obvious once I'd thought about it. Anyway, I hadn't thought about it, so I thought, okay, the motor bat's gone. So then I replaced it with a USA YTX14LBS, and that worked. And at that point I figured out that the fuse in the pigtail had blown, and also the earth connection on the motor bat was loose. So however many times you hear it or read it, check your battery connections first, because that was the reason the battery wasn't charging properly, was the earth connection wasn't good. So anyway, by then I decided that I wanted to have the ability to just plug in another battery and jump start the bike as and when needed, normally in winter, normally when it's cold and it's hard to turn over. So that's what this video is all about, and a little explanation of how I got here. Right, so I've turned the bike on, taken the main fuse out and turned the bike off. And the first thing I'm going to do is undo that earthing bolt down there. I haven't bothered doing this before, but from experience it's such a struggle to get the battery out and get the connections on with the earth lead still connected, that it just isn't worth it. So I'm going to, for the first time, take this off. Shazam! That should make life considerably easier. There we go. Good one. Now for the battery. There we go. You ever get the impression that Harley just don't want you to service your own vehicle? Right, now I want to keep all that together. Well, that is considerably easier. I had thought I'm going to put the motor bat back in as well, now that I've done this. So that was a little bit loose, that earth one as well. So Loctite next time. Alright, so I can get rid of my pigtail. Okay, so that's the pigtail fuse going up to the pigtail, and that is going up to the sat-nav. So I'm going to have to do that again. G'day, that's alright. So I can do away with the pigtail. And now to wire up the plugs and get that sorted out. Okay, just get their negative lead on. Made for it. Brilliant. I need a method of holding that. I'm trying to do this so that you can see what I'm doing. See how that goes. Okay, so I'm gonna put the motor back in somehow. Trying to stop the terminal from twisting. And hold the battery and film at the same time. Right, that is tight. Not too tight because that's just brass, but it is tight. Okay, so now will it go back in? Brilliant. Excellent. Okay, happy with that. Okay, that's all good. That's good. Okay, that's good. Right, let that cool. Look, come on. There we go. I really don't want to do that any tighter than that. I just want to find a suitable path. Just insulate that end. Seems it's going to be live. Right, I reckon that's okay. So I guess that'll be alright if I put my lead on there like that. That'll be okay. Good. Okay, so I disconnected the positive lead. So that's tinned nicely. And I've got this wooden thing so I can put the sockets in. So it doesn't drain any heat. Right, so these things, get a bit of solder in there. Right, that's okay. Right, so that's positive there, so you're supposed to push the pin in till you hear it click. So there. Okay, that's one done. These fittings, connections are quite fiddly, so I actually did one off camera and buggered it up so that I knew what I was knew what I was doing when I came to showing it on video, but I'm not so sure I'm doing that good anyway with it. But still, press on. Okay, I reckon that, like that, if that all stays there, that will be quite a good connection. Yep. Happy with that, I think. Right, well, I got that in, but that was a right bugger. So what I did is I put the cable through the socket and then put the end on and then pushed it in. So I've seen that online, various ways of doing it, but they've all said they're a bit of a bugger to get done. So all's well that ends well, but boy, that took some doing. Okay, I suppose I better put Loctite back on there again now. Okay. That's all right there. That's all right there. I guess I can tuck that up various ways. So that's nice and tight. Right, I'll put that on the optimizer then. Just to see what the voltage is. So okay, 12.8 volts, 0.8 amps, 13.1, 13.2. So happy with that. I'll go to maintenance soon, I expect. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I've used the male socket and just put some araldite on the top, and that will do as a cap, nice and tight, and then I can tuck that away in there. So only thing to do now is to try it out, and then at the end I'll just run through all the bits I've used. Okay, so that was the motor bat. Now try jumping it. So here's the leads I made up earlier. And that is the difference I wanted. Brilliant. So I don't have to worry about the side panel and the amperage. That is exactly what I wanted. Just to be able to plug it in to a socket and jump start it. So I'll just run through what I've used. The connectors are EC5. Now they're a real fiddle to connect up together. I'll put the sockets and plugs in. And I've seen that online, you know, with wiring up a EC5 plug, what's it like? And a lot of people are having troubles, and it's a trial. Now I think that is because it's not the original manufacturer part, it's a knockoff from China. So if you go to somewhere like Radio Spares and you look up EC5 connectors, they look a little bit different, like the male pin looks a bit different, and there's a bit more of a sort of shoulder on the pin, so I think it would slide in easier, and I think that is the problem. So I think it's not the actual EC5 connector, it's the knockoff EC5 connectors that's the problem. However, there is a compatible plug and socket which is an IC5. Now that's got the pins are already in the body of the plug or socket, and it's a high temperature plastic, so you can solder the leads onto the end, and that is a compatible component. And the cable I used is 10 AWG high temperature silicon cable, and that's 600 volts, 3 kilovolts DC. And it takes up 140 amps is what it's rated at. So I hope that helps. It's just how I've done it. I'm not saying it's the best way or the right way, but it's just how I've done it. I'm pretty confident the cable's okay and the sockets are okay for the current that's demanded on them momentarily. So anyway, that's the way I've done it. Hope it's of help. Please like and subscribe, because that helps the channel and encourages me to keep on making these things, which take ages. So take it easy till next time. Cheerio.